Canada said, we're not bringing back a long gun registry. And yet handguns are frozen, ban lists keep growing, and the rules get stricter while criminals don't queue for permits. Today we're decoding how Canada's gun laws actually work. Stick with me to the end, because if you think you know Canada's rules, you're about to learn where the real traps are. Chapter 1. Getting a gun in Canada. Even though the Canadian government had publicly promised years earlier not to head back down that road, in 2022 Ottawa imposed a nationwide handgun freeze by regulation. Individuals could no longer buy, sell, transfer, or import handguns. Existing licensed owners could keep and use the handguns they already had under the usual restricted rules. Acquiring new guns was effectively shut. In 2023, Bill C-21 amended the Firearms Act and Criminal Code, entrenching and extending the handgun transfer freeze. In practice, most private buyers and sellers can't transfer or import handguns anymore. Like I said, if you already own and registered one, you can generally keep it, but the pathways to get a new one are extremely narrow. These laws have lots of nuance. This is a high-level overview, but check the official RCMP Justice Canada pages. I'll link below for the exact wording for your province and situation. I'll put the links below so you can find all of that. Now, to own firearms, most people need a PAL, the Possession and Acquisition License. For handguns and other restricted firearms, you need the RPAL. The path is strict. Complete the approved safety course, pass the exam, submit your application with identification and photo, undergo background screening by federal authorities and your provincial chief firearms officer, that's the CFO, and wait for approval. Licenses must be renewed, and authorities can refuse or revoke for risk factors. Canada classifies firearms as non-restricted, restricted, or prohibited. Most modern handguns are restricted. Some older or specific models are prohibited, but tied to grandfathered ownership. Okay, so you passed the test, but wait till you see the traps. Chapter 2. Magazines, Devices, and Storage in Canada. Magazine limits cause confusion. For handguns, magazines are generally limited to 10 rounds. For most semi-automatic centerfire long guns, the limit is 5. Rimfire and manually operated long guns are treated differently under design-based rules, but altering or unpinning a magazine to exceed its legal capacity can be an offense on its own. Chapter 3. Canadian Prohibition, Ban Lists, and more. Now, Canada drew a hard line on firearms for gun owners. In May 2020, Ottawa wipes 1,500 plus models off the table and sets hard lines for 20mm bore diameter limits or 10,000 joule muzzle energy. All of this is prohibited and even targets certain uppers. The amnesty clock on the 2020 list and the December 2024 add-ons now runs to October 2026. A newer batch from March 2025 has a shorter runway to March 2026, or something like that. By the time you're watching this, the dates might have changed. But either way, they're banning stuff. Then C-21 ups the control with red flag and yellow flag orders to cut off access, stiffer time for smuggling, trafficking, and increased magazine tampering offenses. That's if you push mag capacity past the legal limits by altering them, you are getting in a lot of trouble. Critics say red and yellow flag orders enable one-sided, low-threshold seizures ripe for abuse in arguments. It duplicates existing police powers and risk biased or dangerous enforcement. Now, where good people get burned right now is the transport conditions on restricted handguns, storage slips, that's the house or car, importing prohibited devices thinking they're fine, and thinking there's public self-defense carry for civilians when there isn't. Over 1,500 guns gone. Now they're coming for intent. Chapter 4. The reality of Canada's self-defense. The use of a firearm for self-protection is described by Canada's own Department of Justice as, I'm quoting here, mostly prohibited by law. If you've got a gun in Canada and you're thinking you can use it for self-defense, you need to reset your bearings. Even pepper spray for self-defense is prohibited. That should tell you how they'll react if you use a gun. Technically, the only time you're allowed to use pepper spray is as a bear deterrent when you go hunting. Now, on paper, a person may use force if they believe on reasonable grounds they're under threat, but the response must be reasonable in the circumstances. The reality is you can't assume carrying a firearm automatically gives you the right to use it in a public self-defense scenario. The legal bar is high. The risk of misjudging it is real. And even law-abiding carriers face major consequences if the threat, the timing, or the response don't clearly meet Canada's standard. Like a home intruder, just because you're defending your home and the intruder has a weapon doesn't guarantee you'll avoid legal risk. Authorities may still charge you for a list of reasons. My take on all of this, if you defend yourself in Canada, then you'll need defending from Canada. I mean, you heard the promises.
In here is that the first step towards registering your guns is just the first step towards taking away guns from everyone. That's never going to happen because here in Canada we have a culture that has grown up with guns and it respects.
But then they show you their true colors.
We're introducing legislation to implement a national freeze on handgun ownership.
Lawful Canadian gun owners, the signal is clear. The state prioritizes control. You must prioritize perfect compliance, or else. To the Americans, comfort is compliance. The more comfortable your gun carry setup is, the more consistently you train and perform. That's why we build concealed carry shorts and sweatpants that lock your holster exactly where you want it. All linked below or go to relaxfittactical.com. And whatever you do, don't be lame, subscribe.